The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
This is Talkin' Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
Handoff, Elliott plowing to the goal line. Barry, sacked by Lawrence. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
Here are Mickey Spagnola, Brian Broaddus, Rob Phillips, and Bill Jones.
And it's a fabulous Friday edition of Talking Cowboys as we get you ready for the Fins on Sunday at noon at AT&T Stadium.
I caught the Fins.
Yep. It's a fabulous Fin Friday edition. And over the course of the next 45 minutes, we are going to figure out what the Dolphins would need to do to pull off the shocker on Sunday against the Cowboys. And in the meantime, Jason Garrett just had his press conference. Jerry Jones just talked on the flagship station, The Fan, and we get started with that. First off, I wasn't able to listen to Jason because I was listening to a little bit of Jerry, caught the tail end of Jerry. Anything coming out of the Jason Garrett press conference we need to know about off the top? Or the walk-off?
Injury-wise, we can probably do that.
Start there then.
Nothing new on that front.
Get my list here so we don't forget anybody. But
same guys that have been out.
Still out.
Still expected to be out.
Tavon Austin.
Out.
Tyrone Crawford.
Out.
We knew Michael Gallup was out.
Mm-hmm.
Antoine Woods sounds out.
He's out.
And Xavier Woods is maybe likely out. What do you think?
I think he's out.
He's out.
So we got 5 guys right there, right? Now we got to figure out the other
6
two.
with Gifford.
So, yeah, we'll just have to figure out one more guy.
So one of those offensive linemen out.
Probably
Redmond
or Brandon Knight. Yeah, one of those guys, yeah.
Everybody else got to have a uniform on and play. Get your number.
Okay, so let's start at the safety position. How are they offsetting the loss of Xavier Woods?
Thompson will be your starter.
Darian Thompson.
Yeah, but then you're also getting Donovan Wilson is getting some work with the twos. He's playing two with the defense, but he's also running scout team stuff, so he's working his way back in both ways there. But yeah, I feel.
But he picks up a special teams guy.
But he picks up a special teams. Yeah. That's exactly right. Because we'll see what happens. Thompson is still. When I was talking to some guys this morning, Thompson's still on all the special teams. But if they have to go with, if he for some reason, they say they need to give him a little bit of a rest. For all the special teams he plays, Wilson, like Mickey said, Wilson can jump in there and play those spots too. So that'll be a good thing for him as well.
Okay, let's move up to the defensive line, and both Tyrone Crawford and Antoine Woods out.
Both out, yeah.
Yep. And so,
okay, this is where I think this is where, again, talking to some folks, it could be interesting because I feel like my gut feeling that Quinn could start because Quinn has been running with the first team. But could they be running Quinn with the first team to get him work, and then they start Dorrance Armstrong? That's you know what I'm saying? Like, if there's 8 reps, and usually the first guy gets, say, 6 of those reps, well, that's been Quinn. So you're thinking, Quinn's the starter. But could they be using Quinn? Could they be getting him ready? Or could they be using those reps to get him in shape and then turn around and start Dorrance Armstrong?
Could be. I'm very curious about his snap count because Mickey mentioned, you kind of hearing that maybe it's more in line with what Tank got week one, 30-something snaps. But he did have training camp, or at least part of training camp. So, and the hand doesn't seem to be an issue, at least the first couple days in practice. So maybe he can bump higher than that. Regardless of who's starting. We'll see.
Gut says he's going to start. Mickey's right on the reps, but we'll see how it plays out. Is that Armstrong, Joe Jackson over there as the backup guy? But losing Crawford hurts you at a couple of spots because it hurts you as a starting right in, but it hurts you in the nickel. Mickey brought that up yesterday, and now that's going to be, okay, did you have to move Collins to get Hill on? All kinds of things that you kind of have to work through just for that one injury that you have to Crawford.
And then the other thing that happens is you lose your support system at left defensive end behind Demarcus Lawrence, because where you would have probably Armstrong over there, you may need him on the right side. to help out with Quinn, and then Kerry Hyder might have to go inside, or Joe Jackson might have to go inside to help at defensive tackle. You've got Hill, but he hadn't played yet, so how much does he help you? But I think the good thing from what we deduced from yesterday talking to the assistant coaches and Jason Garrett is that they feel like Malik Collins can play the 3 technique and the nose, and Hill can do a little of both also. So that gives you some versatility there. And then you got Hyder and Jackson who could go inside.
Right.
And I would think Tristan Hill would be active.
He will be.
And he would. Those inside rushes that Tyrone Crawford gives you, that's where Tristan Hill would fit in.
I was going to say, he's going to have to chew up some snaps for him. If there's no Antoine and Tyrone, he's going to have to play some.
No, and that's the whole idea. And again, talking to folks that he's had a good couple of weeks of practice last week. After the first week where he was inactive, it's like, oh, wait, don't get the dress at this. No, this is not Central Florida. You're not playing Temple this week.
He wasn't aware of the rule.
He wasn't really aware of that rule. So now he's in a situation where it's like, okay, I don't like standing over on the sidelines next to Mickey. I want to be out there playing. So that's where I think that, to me, this is where you're going to see a difference with him. The Dolphins have had some problems inside, by the way, handling some twist stunts and things. Keep an eye on that. Dan Kilgore, their center, just isn't very good at doing that. So if we see some games inside, maybe you can get Tristan Hill some confidence and some good stuff going that way.
And they're starting left guard as a rookie out of Wisconsin.
Yeah, Michael Dieter, yes.
Yeah, and so, I mean, you couldn't hand pick a better place, a team for Tristan Hill to make his NFL debut.
Yeah, might as well get him ready because the next couple of weeks.
This is as close to Temple as you'll get in the NFL.
Absolutely right.
So there you go. And then on offense, of course, we've known that Gallup would be out, and Devin Smith, who had a very nice game a week ago, will get many more opportunities this time around.
Yeah, this whole thing, I tried to ask Coach Garrett the question about just dressing 4, and he smartly said, hey, we'll figure it out at the end. But I have a feeling they're going to go 4. I don't think they're going to bring anybody up. I don't think they want to put anybody down.
I mean, 4 or 4?
4 wide receiver.
I'm with you.
I think 4 at wide receiver because
they're going to make a
I don't think they're going to make a move to bring up another receiver. I think that they're going to figure out a way to play 12 personnel stuff, use Jarwin, use Witten, and just attack the Dolphins that way. Pollard, exactly.
Do you think that's because they've got versatility with their tight ends, and they think that and Pollard and those guys, or does it also speak to maybe get through this game and maybe you get Tavon back and maybe Gallup's a little closer next week too?
I know. There's no question. I think that's what they're doing. I think that they look at they're evaluating the Dolphin film, and when we get to pick to click, I'm going to blow you guys away with my pick to click.
All right.
So, but I feel like that they look at this situation and say, okay, we could get away if we have to play with 11 personnel. We could use Cooper, Smith, and then Cobb. And get away with that, and then if we have to say, okay, we want to put another receiver on the field, like Bill's talking about, you could put Pollard on the field, you could put Jarwin on the field as a detached player,
right? So
you could put some pressure on them that way as well.
Or you can go empty.
Yeah, empty is another way of going. Yeah.
So there's ways to manage it, I think, without having to cut somebody to bring in a wide receiver who's just kind of in reserve.
Just can't have somebody get nicked up at that receiver.
Well, that's the big thing.
But seeing the other.
Go ahead.
Playing devil's advocate, I mean, they didn't do that last week. They made a move to get Cedric Wilson up for this very
but they needed
reason.
him also for special team stuff to have somebody return punts, too. So Cobb didn't have to do everything.
Cobb had that rib injury that maybe they were thinking about that a little bit.
And then
you're still going light. I'm just saying, you're still going light at receiver.
They are. There's no question.
But there's ways to manage it because of their versatility with the tight end and the running back. Right. And the other thing, if they just go a bunch of 2 wide receiver, Cobb can play on the outside. It doesn't have to be Devin Smith for 60 snaps or whatever, because they did that in training camp. When they went 2 wide at times, Cobb was the second wide receiver.
Yeah.
So they can also go that route, which would mean if he's taken that many snaps, maybe he doesn't return punts, and Cedric Wilson's the guy.
I think Mickey's on to something there.
Go and catch punts.
Yep.
Which is always a concern, right? Because one drop punt can turn a game around.
Mickey has not forgotten the Rams game 2 years ago.
Don't want to bring up that Rams game again.
You don't give Ryan Switzer Christmas cards.
No, I don't.
2 years ago.
But still, no. It's if you talk to the special teams people, and they'll tell you the one thing that can ruin a game faster than anything is not catching a punt.
There's no question.
Or getting one blocked. Those two things turn a game around.
Mickey just makes it sound like they missed the playoffs in 2017 because of one guy, one play.
Well, you know what? If they had won that game, they would have been 10-6.
You might be right.
All right.
All right, I had a little in-house thing with my headset here. I believe Caden might have tried to say something to me which I could not hear very well.
I thought I gave you mine because it was working.
Say that again, Caden? I'm sorry.
Look at last night's game. There was the fumble with the punt.
Oh, okay. I thought you were giving me some directions.
I was watching Tulane in Houston. I know about anybody else.
Yeah.
That's the one I was watching.
Yeah,
what did he say?
A better game, probably.
He said, "You're doing a really poor job early in the show."
You need to step it up, Mickey.
About as well as Jacksonville's offensive line run.
Tennessee's
offensive line.
No, Jacksonville's run blocking.
Oh, it's okay. Well, they got Gardner Minshew.
They were no worse than Tennessee's offensive line in protecting the quarterback.
Do you realize they won that game rushing for 88 yards on 20 carries, and one of the carries was 69 yards?
Yes, I do realize that.
So that was 19 carries for 19 yards.
Tulane and Houston.
But you're missing the point, man. They got the stash.
Well, I'm going to have to grow. I'm going to grow mine back.
Please, dear Lord, do that for us, please.
And when you sack the quarterback 9 times, then you can do that.
And everybody's down on Mariota. And it's like, oh my God,
Probably
the guy didn't have
be.
a chance.
Probably should be.
Wonder what Mariota would do behind this offensive line.
You know what, though? There was a time when it's something about those Oregon quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? That guy that I
Harrington?
wear. I wear Joey Harrington. I wear that one. It's something about them Oregon quarterbacks. Other than Dan Fouts, I think that there's something going on there.
Well, I'll guarantee you Mike Leach is throwing a party today because no one would listen to him about Minshew.
Oh, he's a good player.
Good player. And he said they would. I heard an interview with him. He said the scouts would come in and they'd ask about him, and but he's only this tall.
Yeah.
Well, the guy that's thrown for more yards in the National Football League is the same height, and on and on. And he doesn't have an arm, and he's been all over the place. He goes, okay, don't take him.
I think times have changed. We drafted a 5'8" quarterback first overall. I think times have changed.
Baker Mayfield's not a big quarterback.
We've gone back to where we were in 1960 with Eddie LeBaron.
Yeah, exactly.
Now I don't know this, but how tall's Tua?
He's over 6.
He's like 6'2".
Yeah,
6'2"?
He's a good size guy.
He doesn't look big out there.
All right, so the other bit of news that has happened since we last convened, Taco Charlton has found a new home. He was claimed on waivers by the Miami Dolphins.
He was claimed, and that was the only team that claimed him. So, that would be that's for a team that is looking for, they're kind of void of some pass rushers. We've talked about Charles Harris being their best pass rusher. They play a 3-4 and odd man's front.
So how does Charlton fit into that?
Probably going to play him as an outside linebacker, and an outside linebacker that just rushes, not a
like on the line of scrimmage outside linebacker,
like Charles Harris.
Yes, like Charles Harris, exactly.
Who was their first round pick about 6 picks before Taco in the same draft.
And not happy with him.
He's their best rusher. I will say that about him. And again, Lyle Collins has played a lot better. He's played better, but I mean, looks technique more sound than he has been at any time. And they'll move him on the other side, so they'll try and keep him away from Tyrone Smith, I want to say. But they're going to have to do something. Last week against New England, they played clog and cover is what they did. Would they rush 3, drop 8? I don't think you can get away with that playing against Prescott.
Run right over him.
Yeah. I think that, to me, it's going to come down to they're going to have to find a way to get pressure. And it'll probably be similar to what the Giants. But they've got a legitimate secondary. Xavier Howard is a really good player. He's one of the better corners in this league.
Of course, they don't have Fitzpatrick, who they had against New England.
Yeah, exactly. And keep an eye on him, by the way. Fitzpatrick was the personal protector on the punt team.
Yep.
This team has almost got a couple of punts blocked. Don't be surprised.
Last week.
Yeah, Keith O'Connell O'Quinn goes, they've had problems with the snap. Don't be surprised if Keith O'Quinn goes after a punt or two in this game because of some of the problems they've had. New personal protector, high snap, left-footed punter. Keep an eye on that.
And Taco, if all he has to do is rush the quarterback, even if he has today's practice is an easy practice.
So you think Taco will be active on Sunday?
Oh, I think so.
I wouldn't guarantee that. Well, he just got here today, basically.
He's had practice today wearing number 96, reports out of Miami indicate.
If they just want him to rush the passer.
Yeah, you have a role for him there.
You can have
Plus, they are they just don't have much depth even
They really
up
don't.
front.
They really don't.
And, and Harris, he's their best pass rusher. He's got 3 sacks in 29 games.
Yeah, but
he's had more than that in one game at Missouri.
Yeah.
So we got fans' reaction to this. Well, why couldn't they have gotten a pick for him then? To Miami. If you want to look at it now, you can look at the Quinn trade.
Did you take your 6 back you gave up for Quinn?
Basically said you gave up a 6 and Taco Charlton for Robert Quinn.
Yeah. So it's a shame that trade just wasn't made back in April.
Yeah. So
for both sides.
Yeah.
But the great thing from the Cowboys' perspective, and they probably are doing cartwheels here, that there was a team that claimed him.
The money, yeah.
And what was the question? Why couldn't they get a pick for him from Miami?
Yeah.
Because Miami didn't want to give it to him.
Yeah.
I know that's the answer, but fans are asking, well, maybe a late round pick.
And at this point,
they would have taken anything.
But that's what we've been talking about during this week is teams monitoring the situation say, look, there's a good chance he's going to get let go at some point.
You're doing your job too well. You're letting teams know that read our stuff that he's probably going to get released and this is what's going to happen. And, I think that, teams monitor what we do. Matter of fact, I had a couple of teams call me the other day and said, hey, I read where you said this about him. Is there anything more about this, that kind of thing? So, yeah, it's the way that, the way you cover this team is you could, people have a pretty good idea that, yeah, he had a pretty good preseason. They could watch the tape and see that. But they also, I know there were a couple of teams that were interested in, but one of the teams was cap strapped and they couldn't take his contract on. And that's a hard thing to do. But there were teams that were interested in him. It just they were worried. They were hopeful that he would get to
and by the way, that's why Miami claimed him
because it was $1.6 million.
Yeah, but even with that salary and inheriting that contract, is Miami knew that if he's out there as a free agent, he's not signing with Miami. The only way that they were going to have the player was if they claimed him. And so that's the reason Miami does that.
Yeah. And there's reports that Taco had wanted to trade for a while back. And so maybe nothing had materialized. He was on the bubble. He was on the bubble beyond the reporting and all that.
No,
he was on the bubble all camp,
inactive
for 2 games, and then the social media stuff. I think any chance of trying to get a deal done.
Let's go back and listen to Jerry Jones today about that social media stuff.
And there's some tweets out there of his talking about that and other teams that were mentioning that were concerned about his social media post and so forth. What is posted on 105.3 The Fan right now, Cowboys owner Jerry Jones said Friday on The Fan, they released Taco Charlton after he, quote, wilted and had trouble recovering from bad practices. So that's what's out
goes
there.
Back to the toughness we talked about.
Good thing Antonio Brown is in here if social media means anything.
Good point.
All right. I think we probably need to take a break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to dive further into the Dolphins. And I cannot wait to hear who Brian Broaddus has as his pick to click here on Talking Cowboys.
Your new apartment's big. Such a great deal.
It's okay.
Just okay? What's not to...
It's right above the subway!
Well, I bet you don't even notice it after the...
That's my neighbor, Angus.
A deal that's just okay is not okay. Get a great deal with America's Best Network. Come into an AT&T store and learn how to buy one smartphone and get a second one on us. Based on GWS 1 score, September 2018.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with sideline access and photo ops with current players, alumni, and cheerleaders. That's not all, though. You'll get to talk X's and O's with Senior Director of Player Personnel Will McClay, and of course with yours truly, me, Brian Broaddus. You can trust the official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, and with us, you'll travel like a pro. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Work the Cowboys way and channel the winning business tradition of the Dallas Cowboys and the Jones family at Formation. This dynamic workspace provides an elevated work experience on the Star's aspirational campus with exclusive membership options available to meet varying needs. Choose from open workspaces, dedicated desks, and private offices to leverage our home field advantage for your individual business success. Limited memberships are available now, so apply today at formation@thestar.com.
A man's Stetson doesn't just protect him from life's elements. It projects an unstoppable and legendary spirit, just like the men wearing silver and navy on the field every Sunday. Since 1865, Stetson hats are American-made with pride right here in Texas. They are still the official crown of all self-respecting Cowboys. And Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find Stetson hats in the Pro Shop or at Stetson.com today.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Don't miss your chance to see the Cowboys live at AT&T Stadium on Sunday at noon as they take on these Miami Dolphins. Get your tickets now at DallasCowboys.com. Yes, tickets are available. Brian Broaddus, your pregame festivities begin at what time?
So it's a noon game, right?
Game,
yeah,
11 a.m.?
11 o'clock, 11 a.m. is what we got.
11 a.m.?
Yeah, 11 a.m. And, myself, Lindsey Draper, and Danny Surek, we're going to be here at the Star. So make sure you check us out on all our platforms is what we do.
Are you outside at the Star?
No. We're inside. That was last week. We got a couple more of those coming up, but we'll let you know when that is.
Okay.
Outside at the stadium.
Yep, that's right.
11:10.
11:10 is your appearance on the pregame show?
On the fan.
Okay, on the fan. Rob, anything you would like to promote?
What time sideline start?
Nick and I will do a couple hits from the sideline as part of pregame live, and usually it includes Stephen Jones.
Yeah, the Stephen Jones interview is really good before games.
We've kind of got him coming over every week, so it's so we appreciate it, and it's on TXA 21. Thank you, Caden.
Yeah.
Starting at what time?
The 11 a.m.
11 a.m.
pregame.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And on CBS 11 at 10:30, we will be live from the stadium with our Cowboys game day, and Danny White and Babe Laufenberg will join us on the field prior to the game. So you can be on CBS 11 at 10:30. Go to Texas 21.
Texas 21
at 11 o'clock, and then the kickoff is on Fox at noon. So there's your Sunday morning planner for you. It's now been posted what Jerry said on the fan this morning about Taco, and briefly, let me just run through a little bit of it. He says, when you're on the defensive line, it asks of more from you than other positions in terms of being motivated, in terms of fighting through. Just the nature of the activity in the defensive line suggests fighting through. You're fighting through pain. You're fighting through really serious obstacles with all those big offensive linemen. You've got to absolutely be eating raw meat to be a defensive lineman, in my mind, for whatever the reason, that area of Taco, and it had as much to do with his own disappointment, his own feeling that he can do better. I've seen him do a rep in practice, and when he didn't get there, he just wilted. It just looked like it impacted everything that he was going to do for the rest of the practice. You can say, well, I can correct that if you're a coach, but on the other hand, you got to get it done. So there you go, the full context of the quote.
So if you're going to be a defensive end, you can't be a vegetarian.
There you go. All right. As far as the Dolphins are concerned, how about we go around the horn as we explore these Dolphins? I've got some thoughts on what I think some areas might be where the Dolphins can hope to have a little bit of success and where they, I think, will have extreme failure in this game.
Sure.
But how about a pick to click? Who wants to go first on a pick to click?
I'll go first. You know, I'm going to dance with these tight ends. I'm going to dance with Blake Jarwin. I think that Blake Jarwin is going to have a big game against these guys. They haven't stopped a tight end from catching a football. 13 targets, 13 receptions. And so all of a sudden, if you're a team that's not able to stop athletic tight ends, and the Ravens have good tight ends.
Mark Andrews.
Yeah, and then also the Patriots. You know, they don't have Gronkowski, but here still they're throwing. They're getting a lot of 21 personnel. The Patriots took advantage of that. These tight ends had big games. I have a feeling that Blake Jarwin is going to come out of this game with maybe 6 receptions.
A Giants performance?
Maybe a Giants performance. Maybe not the 3 touchdowns. But I have a feeling that these tight ends are going to play well. But I'll pick him to be my pick to click because I feel like that they just don't. They have trouble. You know, this this Jones, the safety they have, has been banged up a little bit, hasn't practiced.
Yeah, I doubt he's even playing.
Yeah,
probably.
so Rashard Jones. I mean, those are the things. If and no Mika Fitzpatrick, who was kind of having to cover some guys. So yeah, they're having problems with these tight ends. So I'll just be a little unorthodox today and go with Blake Jarwin here as having a big game for the Dallas Cowboys.
I think that's a wise choice, and especially where the Cowboys are at the wide receiver position, too.
Sure. They'll probably make some plays on the outside there, too, but just keep an eye on these tight ends making plays.
I let you go last time. I'll let you go again.
No, I stole yours last time.
Take my guy.
Yeah.
No, that was 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
I got the guy last time, and I'm riding him again this week.
Okay. Oh, you're going with go ahead.
Ezekiel Elliott. This team, and I know when you get beat as bad as they do, teams tend to run a lot on you because they don't need to do anything else. They've given up 391 yards rushing in 2 games. That's almost like 200 a game. So I understand what happens at end of games, but they're also, the opponent's running game is averaging 4.8 yards a carry. A carry, that's almost 5 yards a carry, right? Half a first down. Ezekiel Elliott's going to have a field day behind this offensive line. And aren't the Cowboys glad to have this offensive line? Because when you watched that game last night, it's like, oh, my, does anybody got offensive linemen in this league?
Yeah. Good drafting will do for you.
And we don't get a chance to watch enough other games. And so when you get to sit back and watch an entire game of what these other teams are doing, jeez.
Well, and it's to the point of people wondering, okay, how come you're keeping Brandon Knight when you're looking for people to get to your practice squad and trying to make a roster move, and the Cowboys keeping these offensive linemen? Well, you can understand when you look around the league.
And we saw it, right? 2011, 12, maybe even 13, what they were throwing out there.
Yeah.
And it's like, gosh, the transformations is unbelievable.
I'll stick with the offensive theme. And I know they don't have Michael Gallup in this game, but I'm going with Randall Cobb because Brian mentioned the matchup with Howard against Amari Cooper. That's a good one. I mean, Howard is a Pro Bowl player, but I think Cobb, one of the reasons I feel comfortable about the Cowboys winning this game is what Mickey just said. The offensive line is as good as we've seen it the last couple years. And Dak spoke about it yesterday. Not only is he trying to get the ball out quicker, they're doing a good job up front. He blamed himself for the 1 sack, but the receivers are getting separation down to down. And I think Cobb has been everything as advertised as a steady guy. And I think he's going to take advantage of some opportunities in the passing game because I think Dak's going to have time to throw in this game.
Yeah, this is the way that they're going to. Last week we had the discussion: would they walk Norman? And we were kind of thinking maybe, maybe not. But that's not the MO of what's going on there in Washington. The MO here is they'll walk guys. This guy, Xavier Howard, he'll walk. So it's kind of like watching a college defense a little bit with, you've been watching tape and all of a sudden guys are playing boundary corners and guys are playing field corners and stuff. So you see him go, and sometimes you see him even play in the slot. So it's a New England Patriot way where Brian Flores is from, to try and take away your best player and then let everybody else see if they're good enough to beat. So I like what Rob's saying there. If, in fact, they try and take away Cooper, then it's going to have to be Cobb and Witten and other guys, Smith and other guys winning to win this football game.
Gallup, they're going to miss Gallup for however long he's out.
Yeah.
But they've got enough weapons, I think, to withstand some of this. I mean,
maybe this week.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
That's.
Are you worried about it? Okay.
Saints.
I mean, I think teams would still like to have Randall Cobb as your second option in the passing game.
No, I'm not arguing
Ezekiel
with
Elliott
that.
up front and the tight ends and all that. I mean, I think they can get through this for 2 weeks or whatever it's going to be.
This could be a low-scoring game too if what Mickey's saying is true, that they turn around and hand the ball to Ezekiel Elliott 30 times. You know what I'm saying? If they get, maybe this turns into a game where Dak Prescott's final numbers are 18 of 24 for, and then the rest of it comes through the rush.
Hey.
With Pollard and and Elliott and those guys. Yeah.
We talked earlier in the week about the fact that the game last week against the Patriots for the Dolphins with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter, it was 13-0
Right. Actually, they scored with 1-something left in the half.
And I was about to say, I rewatched the first half again this morning, and with the minute 20 to go in the first half, it was still a 7-0 game.
And then they scored.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Antonio Brown made it 13-0.
So who's your guy?
I'm looking at this Dolphins offensive line.
Look at Bill's got his chart here.
Yeah, I've got my chart and everything.
Are you doing the game?
No, I'm not. But I decided I'm gonna prepare for this as if I'm doing the game. And here's the reason. All right, I'm looking at this Dolphins team and I'm going, okay, what do we really know about this team at all? Okay, the only way that you can really learn about a team is to dive into it,
Absolutely,
really dig and figure out who are they actually playing. Because we all know that they traded away Laramie Tunsil, and it'd be like, okay, where are the Cowboys if they traded Tyrone Smith on the offensive line? Okay, the backup guys,
they're in big trouble.
Okay, so they've got at left tackle. They've got Jesse Davis, who has been a guard, I believe, in his career.
Yeah.
And he's now out at left tackle. He did start 16 games last year at right guard, but now he's playing left tackle. Okay.
Well, in the New England game, Demarcus Webb started at the left tackle.
No, he actually started at right tackle.
Okay, he did. Okay, because Isaiah Prince, that's right. He was the right tackle. You're right.
Jesse Davis is at left tackle. Jamarcus Webb was at right tackle, and that's why I brought up Jesse Davis first, because I thought that they had Webb at left tackle.
I did too.
And then I looked at it, and he was actually a right tackle.
I was looking at my notes, and you're right. Yeah.
Okay.
Right tackle 1. That's right.
Jamarcus Webb out of North Mesquite High School. West Texas A&M. Remember when he first came into the league, he was with the Chicago Bears, and he actually was a starter his first 3 years in the league.
Yep.
He's got 66 starts in his career. Last year he was at Indianapolis. He got into one game, one start. In 2017, he did not play. In 2016, he was in Seattle and had 3 starts. The last time that he was a full-time starter in this league was 4 years ago in Oakland. Okay?
Yeah.
Demarcus Lawrence has got to be just licking his chops. If 61 Jamarcus Webb is starting at right tackle for the Dolphins, Demarcus Lawrence is going to have a huge day. He is my pick to click. So
we gave him like the best player. We just went around the league. I mean, we just went around the whole thing, and we just totally discounted. It took Mickey asking Bill, well, who's your pick? I'll take Demarcus Lawrence.
But that's the reason. It's DeMarcus against J. Marcus.
Yeah.
And no offense to Jamarcus Webb and his family, who might be longtime Cowboy fans.
You know what? And I'll tell you what, though.
They got to help him so much.
Josh Rosen is not going to be able to get rid of the ball quick enough. I will say that the one thing Ryan Fitzpatrick will do, but this is when you're saying this, Bill, it's interesting because we said it yesterday. What's the one thing, if you had to nitpick about this team, it would be the pass rush or lack of. So do they get it right this week? Does all of a sudden we start to see DeMarcus Lawrence? Do we get to see Robert Quinn? Do we get to see more pass rush?
I like your pick on another front, and that's because we talked to DeMarcus, I think it was last week, and he said, I'm still trying to get to my standard of play. I'm trying to get my pad level right, my counters, all that stuff. I think his conditioning is getting better with more practice, but this might be the week. 3 games in, he puts it all together on top of what his matchup is.
They might not have to play defense.
You have to play defense. You have to play defense.
They're just going to keep running. They're just going to hog the ball.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it might be actually a low-scoring game if you think about low-scoring games. I mean, again, Dallas will probably score somewhere between 24 and 28 points.
And know that Miami wants to make it as low-scoring a game as possible.
They want to make it as ugly as possible, and that's why I felt like if Fitzpatrick played in this game, that was I think the Dolphins just took their best chance away from having a very competitive game.
Yeah.
With Fitzpatrick, because if they throw the ball 45, 50 times.
That guy will be intercepted 5.
Why do you
think could very well be, but he doesn't care.
Why do you think they make the switch on a Thursday like that, though?
Well, did you read what they threw out there?
No.
They had this in their mind, right? But they said each guy got equal snaps, and Rosen played the best during the 2 practices. So they decide to make.
Here's what I
that's
think
bold.
happened. I think
the owner probably told him.
I said,
get rid of this.
Flores, it was on a Tuesday.
We traded for this young guy. And
I think
see what we got.
Flores announced on Tuesday that Fitzpatrick was starting, and I think there were some conversations behind the scenes.
Oh, there's no question. There's no question.
Look, the guy.
There was pressure applied that no, Rosen's starting.
He had completed 50% of his passes, 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions. He was only averaging 5.4 yards an attempt with a 39.9 quarterback rating. 39.9.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then the other guy had a 14.2.
Yeah. The thing is, I just go back and
they're never going to get the ball.
I just go back and think about Fitzpatrick and being undermanned, and you never know when he's going to light it up. That's what I was. And if the pass rush is not there and a quarterback can kind of feel comfortable throwing the ball, they don't have a lot of weapons. That was my worry in this game. That was my. Brian Flores has eliminated the one worry I've had in this game.
I've got one question for Caden Gates. Do we need to take? Are we contractually obligated to take a break, or can we just wig it here from here on out?
We have to do Jack Black.
Yeah. Mickey, talk about Jack Black.
Jack Black.
Can Mickey just talk about Jack Black
the biggie size,
now? Okay.
The biggie size things,
all right? You ready to do Jack Black, or we can give you
33 ounces this week?
Yeah.
And if you go to getjackblack.com, and it's a limited opportunity here and limited quantity, so go to getjackblack.com and get your biggie size product. This week only.
Very good.
How's that?
All right.
That was great.
I didn't even have anything to look at.
Any other threats that the Dolphins have that the Cowboys need to be concerned about? I've got one. You throw out one.
Devontae Parker, the wide receiver. This is a guy that can go get 50-50 balls. If they, in fact, Rosen can even throw the ball down the field. I think the game plan changes for them for underneath. Rosen tries to be perfect. He tries to be perfect passing the ball, whereas Fitzpatrick will just wing it. And that's where I felt like that, maybe that Parker down the field, those 50-50 balls, middle of the field. I mean, you could break down plays where you see the ball going down and him going up and getting it. He's clearly taller than a lot of guys that he plays against. I mean, that's one of the things that I would definitely worry about if I'm the Dallas Cowboys, is that ball going down the field to him. And, are we going to get pass interference calls? Are we going to get challenges of pass interference calls? I mean, all kinds of things. So he is the best threat that they have on the outside.
And then they also have the rookie who's undrafted, Preston Williams, out of Colorado State. And you talk about Parker's 6'3", Preston Williams is 6'5". Right. And he replaced Michael Gallup at Colorado State. He was just as productive at Colorado State. And I believe was it last week he scored the touchdown, or the week?
Last week
against New England.
No, they didn't score. They didn't have.
That's right. It got shut out. So it was against Baltimore. He has their one touchdown on the year.
Exactly.
There you go.
Exactly.
And you know what? Rosen now, in his last 7 games, so 2 with Miami, 5 with the Cardinals when he was the starter, he's got 1 touchdown and 5 picks.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You just took away my threat. Hey, people on Bill, did you want to give your name?
And Albert, by the way,
you said
Preston Williams was the other guy. And the other thing about them, people talk about the tight end, Mike Gesicki.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's actually he has not been productive at all in his career so far.
No.
And in fact, they came out in 2 tights last week, and it was the other 2 tight ends, Durham Smythe out of Notre Dame and Nick O'Leary.
Yeah. And their other wide receiver, Albert Wilson's not practiced all week.
Right.
And reports that he's out.
The other guy I would mention is Jakeem Grant.
Yeah, he's a jet sweeper, what he is.
And on special teams,
he can bring it out of the
He's got 2 punt return touchdowns and a kickoff return touchdown in his career. Of course, he's out of Texas Tech and Mesquite Horn. Go ahead.
Brian, last thing we go at is just Periscope window. Do you feel like there's a huge drop off between Woods and Thompson at safety for this team?
Well, I think there's a drop off. For sure. I don't know about huge.
Yeah.
Look, if you get beat and you're going to blame it on the free safety, then you got other problems.
Yep.
That's my take on safeties. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Rob Phillips. Come on, Rob. You were about to say something.
Well, to Brian's point, Dolphins just have to manufacture some chunk plays. I don't know if they have a running game because they've only had. Is this right? They've only got 27 rush attempts.
Yeah, they're.
I mean, so they've been playing behind so much you don't really know. So can they stop Parker? Can Rosen pull a rabbit out? We'll see. That's their best shot.
Early in the game against the Patriots last week, it did not appear that they had a running game, but I wouldn't blame the running backs for it. They don't have much up front
not
blocking for them.
Not at all.
And what you saw last night.
Yeah. Oh. and you know what? And look, the idea is to win this game, right? You don't need to score 50 points. So if the Cowboys come in win 24-3 or
that's exactly my score. It's like 24-3, just like the Super Bowl.
See, these teams are coming up. They're catching on to this offense.
Dwayne Thomas will be the star of the game.
The idea is to win the game.
24-3, Cowboys win.
There you go.
All right, that does it for Talking Cowboys.
34-9.
You got 34-9. You got any?
That's
over
fine.
there?
That sounds great.
I went 27-13.
Okay, very good. Yeah. We'll talk at you Monday.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!